Hey everybody, Shawn Holsinger here from HolsingersFlyShop.com. Bringing another fly time video. This week I got a dry fly for you, and it's called the Swiss straw caddis. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it at the end, but I'm gonna get right into tying it this week for you. So here you're gonna see a picture of the fly and the material list to tie it before I tie the video. Okay guys, here you see the Swiss straw caddis in the vise. Very cool looking buggy little pattern. Let's get into tying it. For a hook, I'm tying this on a Daiichi 1260. This is a size 16. I like that size because of the long shank there. It's just a nice size for a caddis. I like it. For thread, I'm using some Semperfli Nanosilk. This is 12-aught brown. You can use black, whatever color you want. 40 or 70 denier UTC if you'd like. Something thin, that's what I want here. Gonna wrap that back to the bend of the hook, and then I'm gonna come in with some dubbing. I'm using some SLF Squirrel. This is natural gray, and I don't want a lot here. I just want to make a nice little body on this fly. So, just gonna dub me a nice little thin noodle on here. And then wrap that forward. And I want to wrap it about 2/3 of the way up. I want to leave about 1/3 of the hook shank open up here at the front end to build the head up. It's going to be a lot of stuff I got building on here, and so I want to leave some room there. Next thing I'm going to put on is some natural gray CDC feathers. This is going to be the underwing, and just take one or two depending on how full your feathers are. I want to lay that right on top, and I want it to go right about the length of the hook shank there. And we're going to tie it down at that 2/3 point. So tie that down, get it on there nice and tight, and then trim it off. And then we're just going to tweak it, make sure it's where we want it on top. Make an extra wrap or two, and we're good to go. Now, next thing I'm going to use is some Swiss straw, and we actually don't carry this at the shop anymore. We used to. I'm sure you probably have it laying around if you've been tying for a long time. I'm just going to cut off a section of it, about 1 inch, 2 inches, whatever, and then I'm going to round the end of it off. So this is going to be the wing that I'm going to put on the top, and I'm going to, you see it's got like a natural curve to it. I'm going to lay that curve down. And I'm going to lay it right on top, and I want it to go the same length as my CDC. And I want to kind of wrap it around that hook shank and tie it down on top. There you see, it's going to make that tent wing-like shape. And then we're just going to, we wrapped around the eye there a little bit, so pop that back off the eye. Trim it up. And get the front part out of the way there. So this makes a nice little wing. I like this for the tent wing on a caddis. And now I'm going to make the legs on this fly. There you see, very simple, very, very easy wing look to achieve with this Swiss CDC. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Comparadun deer hair, and I'm going to take my Swiss CDC clamp here and just take a real thin, about 1 inch long piece of deer hair. So you see here, I'm going to separate out, you can't see it real well in the video, separate out a real thin piece, and I'll pop it out and show you here. Cut it off, I should say. Okay, so there you go, you see it in the clamp. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move all those hair fibers down to where I just have the tips showing on the inside of my clamp, right like that. Okay, you can see how in here I just have the tip showing, and I'm going to come on in and cut the other side of that off. And this is what's going to make my wing and my leggy, what's going to help it float a lot. This is going to be the hackle on my fly. So there, I trimmed that off nice and close. I got a real short piece of deer hair sticking in. We're going to put that in a dubbing loop. So let me make my dubbing loop here real quick. So bring out some thread, loop over your thread, and wrap it around your hook. I love using dubbing loops. I use dubbing loops in almost all my flies in one way or another to make collars or hackle, something. It's just a great method to get material on your hook. So, split the two pieces of thread that we're going to put our hair in. And like I said, I'm going to put that in real close to my fly. Clamp down on that hair. And then we're going to give this a spin to lock all those fibers into place. And now I have a really nice deer hair hackle here that I'm going to spin on my fly, and as I do, I'm going to take and pull these fibers backwards so they lay back as I wrap them forward. And it's going to make legs and hackle on this fly to help it ride on the top better. And just wrap it right up there to that eye. Once we get up to the eye, we're going to tie it off. I got those a little bit long, and that's okay. I would like to be a little bit shorter, but okay, now I'm going to lock that down in place, and I like to take and put just a small little collar of dubbing on here just to clean the front end up just a little bit. And then we'll whip finish it off after I get that nice little collar on there. So again, hold that back. Get it in place. A lot of guys will put little antenna. I don't think the trout key on that antenna, so I don't bother putting it on. It just gets in the way when tying it. We're going to whip finish this off, and then I got one more step I want to do. You don't have to put that little bit of dubbing there, but it just does clean it up a little bit nicer. So, trim off my thread, and then the last thing I want to do is I want to flip this fly upside down. I'm going to go right into the bottom here, and I just want to trim up the bottom a little bit so it lays flat on the water whenever I fish it. So, there you see, there we go. Got the fly looking good there. It's going to ride on the water and lay nice and flat on the water like that, as you see. So, great looking fly. It's going to catch you some fish. Okay guys, hope you like that pattern. Really cool pattern, has a great look to it, and it floats well. So have fun tying, guys. That's what it's all about. When I came across this one, I was like, I gotta give that one a try. It just looks great. You know, it rides well and everything. So it's my kind of caddis pattern. I like realistic caddis patterns, and I like small ones. We have a ton of caddis in my area here in central Pennsylvania, in the Northeast for that matter. Caddis are very prolific all across the country, actually. So, and even when I was in South Africa fishing, we were fishing a lake and there was caddis buzzing around on the lake. So they'll fish anywhere in the world pretty much. Have fun tying, guys, and if you need any of the material, I'll accept the Swiss straw. Usually when I tie a video, the rule of thumb is we have to have the material in the shop. We don't have it right now. We're out of stock. We quit carrying it because we didn't sell a whole bunch of it, but most guys have this. It's one of those standard things that comes into fly tying kits. If you're just starting out, you probably have it, and here's your chance to tie a dry fly. So give it a try. Use other materials. You know, experiment with some other materials and see what works great. Anyways, if you need me to tie any of them, holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to tie some of these for you. And anything other than Swiss straw, you can find at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. So thanks for watching, guys. Until next week when I bring you another video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.